writes poetry. Oscar? So, when I was talking to Mr. Hoffman about poetry, I really had to think, what were the things that Mr. Hoffman does? Taking a quick look to see who has their eyes around me and their voices are off, just like Genesis. Thank you, Eva. So I was talking to Mr. Hoffman about his poetry, and I asked him a couple of questions of what was the purpose of, what was the reason why he wanted to get into poetry. And he was saying that he wanted to create a setting for how he thought about the world. And I was thinking, all right, Mr. Hoffman, what are some ways in which you can show this, Genesis? Show the setting that you were thinking about the world when you wrote these poems. And he was saying like, oh, well, I like to write things in a first person. So today, readers, we're going to be looking at how authors and writers go deeper into their writing and how we think and how we look to analyze and how we look to think about our reading to write. All right, so looking up. So looking at our objective, reading it silently to ourselves. I see Monte's eyes reading the objective. I see Zoe. I see Amelia with his pencil down on the ground, looking up. I see Genesis looking it over one more time. All right, reading it together. Readers will be able to
grow deeper ideas by thinking about authors' goals and techniques.
Right. You see Emilio reading, keeping his body forward. After being done the objective. Thank you, Rokaya. All right. So for our teaching point today, readers. When you study a text, it can be helpful to study the author's goals and techniques. One way to do this is by focusing on a part where the author seems to be trying to achieve something and asking how. So just like my conversation with Mr. Hoffman, he was telling me that the goal for his writing was he wanted to create a setting for the things that he saw in the world. And by doing this, he wrote in a first-person narrative for much of his writing. So today, readers, we're going to go into some text. We're going to go into certain parts of Poem of the Brave. And we're going to think about the goal the author had as she was writing, and then the techniques she used. The techniques that she used to show and express this. All right, readers. So, just like in our writing, we went over some of the goals, and we thought, what are some of the goals that the authors have for readers as we're reading about writing and as we're doing our writing? And then we thought, okay, so now that we've identified these goals, what are the ways and how was the author showing us these goals? So here's some of the techniques. When I say go, open up your reading folders to find your... Keep it slow, keep it slow. When I say go, hang on, close your folders, close your folders, close your folders, close your folders. Wait for me to say go. Just like Zoe keeping it still, just like Monty keeping it still. Thank you, Emilia, for closing up your folder. When I say go, we're going to open up our folders and find our goals and techniques handout that we used a few weeks ago. And then we're going to talk in our book clubs which goals and techniques seem familiar to us and which seem a little unclear. If you don't have your goals and techniques handout, look on with your partner. If you don't have your goals and techniques handout, raise a quiet hand. Or look on with your partner when I say go. Any questions or comments? Isaac. I see Isaac with quiet hand raising a question. So readers, If you don't have your handout, look onto it with a partner. All right, when I say go, turn and talk with a partner, look through the goals and techniques and see which are familiar to you. Ready? Ready? Turn and... All right. Let's see, Luis then has his handout out, looking at his chart.
Hey readers, can you put your eyes on me for just 1 second? I want to make sure I'm hearing a couple of questions, so I want to make sure everyone's clear. Thank you. Right over here, this whole crew is all looking at me. Amelia just fixed it right now. So what we're doing is we're looking onto our pages and we're thinking, which of these do I feel like, oh, I can recognize this like that in my book? And which of these techniques or goals am I still not really clear what it looks like? So with your partner, I feel really successful with figurative language and first-person narrator. But with tone, I don't really understand what that means. And you are working together to think if you can help each other. Or, oh, in my book, in our book, tone is represented where this character is acting this way or the other. Give me a thumbs up if that is clear what you need to be doing. Thank you, Zoe, for showing me. Thank you, Elizabeth. If your thumb is down, is that telling me you're unclear? Genesis. Are you clear or no? Can you be clear if you're looking in your book? Okay, go ahead and turn and learn with your partners. Thank you. Okay.
This group of 5 here. That's okay. We can make a group of 5 so we have 1 paper. Alright, so which
Yeah. Bro, when you race in our I can do them on like that.
Rising Tiger, what was the book? Tiger Rising. How Rob had his suitcase.
the brain has stopped, your eyes are on me, your bodies are turned. Let's see, checking to see which readers are meeting the expectation and which readers need a reminder. Go on. So we're seeing a lot of great conversations and a lot of strong. Go on. One of the other. Your books should be on the floor and closed, just like Sean, just like Amelia. Thank you, Monse. Pleasure, turn forward. Thank you, Robbie. All right, so I was hearing a lot of great conversations, a lot of strong. A lot of strong conversations about the techniques. I really appreciate Angel, and Zoe, and Brianna. Keeping the voices off. We'll push the back door and come back. Alright, so read it. Now that we've gone over to see which ones we feel successful at, the goals and techniques, now I want you to think about Home of the Brave and the author, Catherine Applegate. So we're going to read this passage together and we're going to see if we can identify what goals she set, and then we're going to see if we can identify what techniques she used to show these goals. So let's read it together. So as I'm reading, following along this excerpt from Home of the Brave. Your eyes should be tracking forward, looking at the passage, just like Sean, just like Angel. Still waiting for 3 students to be tracking the board. Thank you, Genesis, for fixing it. Thank you, Daniela, for turning your body forward. I have Robbie turn forward. Thank you, Eva. So I'll read. Snow. When the flying boat returns to earth at last, I open my eyes and gaze out the round window. What is all the white? I whisper. Where is all the world? So let's quietly think. What was she trying to say? What was her goal? So I'm thinking, oh, she wants to show empathy. She wants us to feel the same way that Keck feels. She wants us to feel certain feelings toward Keck and his experiences. So she wants to stir empathy. Okay, so that was her goal. She wants to stir empathy. She wants us to feel the same way that Keck was feeling. Your voices should be off. And I wanted to think, what did she do? What did she use to show this? So what were the techniques she was using? So I was thinking, it sounds like she was using dialogue by saying that this was in Keck's voice. Keeping our pencils still on the ground. Genesis. Your eyes are on board, just like Zoe's. So she was using dialogue because she was saying that this was in Keck's point of view. That he was saying he had his eyes closed when he was on the plane, and he didn't open his eyes until the plane landed. To show that he was scared and he was worried about flying. And then